Robb Armstrong, one of the hottest cartoonists in America. His award-winning comic strip, JumpStart, is published every day in the LA Times, the Philadelphia Inquirer, the New York Daily News, the Boston Globe, and over 350 other newspapers here in the US and abroad, including the Harrisburg Patriot News. It can also be seen daily on the internet at gocomics.com. And of course, there is the book about his life, which has been published by Reader's Digest called Fearless, A Cartoonist's Guide to Life. It is receiving rave reviews from the likes of Charles Schulz, Quincy Jones. Robb has been featured on Good Morning America, MSNBC, CNN, BET, Good Day Philadelphia. There have been articles about Robb in Time Magazine, People, Ebony, Black Enterprise. Cartoons by Robb have been published in the New Yorker, in fact. His JumpStart characters are also on display in Orlando, Florida, as part of the Universal Studios Island of Adventures theme park. Robb has spoken at the Library of Congress, the Smithsonian Institute, Syracuse University, where he graduated in 1985 with a bachelor's degree of arts, fine arts. He's also visited numerous college and high schools in the country, using his incredible life story to inspire others. In 2012, Robb Armstrong was bestowed an honorary doctorate from Holy Family University in his hometown of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Robb, it's yours.
Scott, thank you so much for that introduction. Also want to thank you for providing food and shelter for me over the past few days. I also want to thank everybody who helped bring me here. This is more than just Scott involved. A lot of help, including driving me from Philadelphia here. Lisa Murray, thank you for that. Scott found me in the newspaper, reading my comic strip JumpStart. I'm not going to talk behind this. It's very sort of Sarah Sanders. It's very, you know. You don't hear me, right? Yeah. I know. So Scott found me. I'm going to set an alarm. One thing Scott said was, keep it short.
Say concise.
Be short. He said, these people don't want to hear anything after 21 minutes. So here it is. It's going to go off in 21 minutes. Scott found me in the funnies. He was reading the comic strips instead of working. And he read JumpStart. This is my can you guys see what I'm doing? You can't see it. Okay? Okay. These are my characters from JumpStart. This guy's name is Joe. Joe's a police officer. Looks like this. Looks like that. I've been doing JumpStart, by the way, for 29 years. 28 years, 28 and a half years. So, this is Joe, police officer, the main character in JumpStart. And he's married to Marcy, nurse. Looks like this. Before I forget, Scott did mention my book, Reader's Digest. Real quick, buy my book. It's not money in my pocket. All proceeds of my book go to my son in college. Okay? It's like 25. I don't know what it is. 20 bucks, I think? 24? Go to Amazon. So, this is Marcy, who's a nurse in JumpStart. And they have 4 kids. I gotta go fast, man. Scott, 20 minutes? Really?
You can go longer, I swear. It's okay.
Don't blame me. He said they got very short attention.
That's not right.
That's not what you said? That's my bad. That's what I heard. You know what I mean? So,
Thanks, Robb.
So this is Sunny from JumpStart and her brother Jojo, all based loosely on my real life family, right? So they have twins. I do not have twins. We do not have twins. I keep saying I. My wife and I have 2 real-life kids. No twins, even though there are 4 kids in JumpStart. I make most of it up. And the character Sunny is based on a real-life kid, my daughter Tess, who is no longer little like this. Sunny came into JumpStart in 1993, same year that Tess came into the family. Tess is 24 years old, getting married. She's got an engagement ring there. Okay, just happened recently. She's nothing like Sunny. Back when Sunny was brought in as a baby, by the way, brought in as an infant, they got pregnant and had the first. Sunny and my daughter were a lot alike. And they were a lot alike for about 6 years, when my daughter was cute. It's not cute at all. Like a 24-year-old woman is not cute, you know what I mean? And it doesn't say anything cute. Doesn't talk that much, actually, at all. My daughter texts a lot, right? But when she was little like this, she was talkative, and the things she would say would inspire my script quite directly. She would say something, and I'd put it right. We'd be at dinner or something, and when she was like 4 years old, she said, you know, Dad, I can't eat this chicken, right? Oh, thank you, son. See that? Thank you, bro. That's for you. We were at dinner, and my daughter said, you know, Dad, I can't eat this chicken. I said, really? Why? She said, I'm a vegetarian. That's right. I said, you're a vegetarian? Since when? She said, since tonight. I said, okay, well, honey, that's great news. Listen, you got to start eating vegetables. That's what vegetarians do. They all sit around and eat vegetables. You got to start doing that. She said, I do eat vegetables. I love them. I said, you do? Like what? She said, like macaroni and cheese. That's a vegetable. Man, I don't know if it's a vegetable or not. It's a funny comic strip. And that's exactly what it became. So, you know, being a dad is the real thing that inspires me greatly. You know, you have people who, when you have kids, you have people who love you more than everybody. It's great being a dad. Being a dad of young children, in particular, is kind of what JumpStart is all about. Even this kid, her name is Tommy. Tommy has wild, uncontrollable hair. I remember that about Tess when she was little. Her hair, for some reason, I couldn't really do anything about it. If I was in charge of her hair for some reason, I would just put a hat on her. I would send her off to school like that. I would tell the teachers, do not remove her hat. I can't be held accountable for what's going to happen if that hat comes off. So all these things inspired me, but something else inspired me. In 1986, I just graduated from Syracuse University and had gotten married. I got married super young, in my early 20s, and my wife was still in college. Believe this? This is crazy. We got married and stuff, and a family friend invited us to a place called Trevor's Place. You guys ever hear of it? Similar to this organization. Trevor was a little boy who was well off, pampered, and lived in the outskirts of Philadelphia and in the suburbs, and his family went into the city one day, and Trevor was like a little kid, 4 years old, 6 years old, something like that, and he saw a homeless man on a grate. And he said, Dad, we've got to do something. There's a man living outdoors. And his dad said, well, you know, that's just how life is. I meant to tell you about this. There's nothing anybody can do. He said, well, why don't we go home and get a blanket? And he did. Gave this man a blanket, and it started quite a thing. Trevor ended up starting something called Trevor's Place, a shelter for the homeless and all that. He became famous, actually. He went around the world. Trevor's campaign is still alive, actually. But 1986, it was new, and I went to it. You guys, like that little boy, I realized how horrific homelessness was. The reason I realized it, I hadn't thought about it until I had dinner with them, with the homeless. So we would come down on the holidays, we would just have dinner. We would serve turkeys and all that, and they're funny, and quite aware that they're homeless, and quite aware that something went wrong, and sharp, and all kinds of different personalities, and it woke me from a slumber, exactly the way it woke up that little boy. And it stuck with me. I didn't sign my deal to do JumpStart for 3 more years. Let me just sign this, make it a completed work of art worth a lot of money. That's worth about $17.50 right there. So I signed my deal to do JumpStart back in 1989. I was one of only 4 African Americans with a syndicated comic strip at the time. And I was the youngest cartoonist in America, period. And that's the reason I was written up in People magazine and Time magazine and stuff like that. So when I signed my contract, I realized I now had a lifetime. We do cartoonists do contracts that are hugely 10 years at a clip. My first contract was 10 years long. And when that 10 years ran out, by the way, I signed another 10-year deal. Like, they want you to do this thing every day. And I've been doing it every single day since October 2nd, 1989. And I would incorporate homeless characters in it. But unfortunately, even though I had direct contact with the homeless, of course, it's Trevor's play, I still treated the homeless characters, whenever you would see them, in much the predictable way, the cliche way, that the population at large sees them, in a misunderstood way. They'd be panhandlers, you know what I mean? They would come into the strip for just a second and be a panhandler, and I'd make some sort of a joke about their plight. Like, it wasn't okay, because I knew better. But it took me a long time to figure out how to incorporate a homeless character into my strip with dignity. It took a long time, right? So I finally figured out how to do it. I signed my deal in 1989, and I figured out how to do it in 2014 or something. It took a long, long time. I'm the only cartoonist who's even attempted to do this. And often, taking real life and making it into a comic strip requires great contemplation. A lot of things have to happen. Mostly, I had to grow up. I had to become a grown man. I was a man when I signed my deal. I was a very young man. I was kind of, in the early days, I was just happy to have a strip in the paper. You guys, listen. Getting syndicated is very difficult. Every syndicate, there's only 4 worth talking about. King Features, United Features Syndicate, Universal Press, which is now called Andrews McMillan, and Tribune. Getting them to pay attention to the comic strip you've drawn in your kitchen at the table is unlikely at best. And it took me many years to break into the industry. I started trying when I was still a college student, and I graduated from Syracuse in 1985. I had done a comic strip from school newspaper called Hector. I can draw Hector for you real quick. I thought Hector would actually become syndicated. I loved Hector. I loved Hector. Loved drawing a comic strip all through Syracuse. I had a great time with this guy. Hector went nowhere. Okay? Nowhere. He looked like this. You can't even tell what that is. What is it? He looked like, you know what I mean? Like, what is that? I tell you what, it was a big hit in college. I worked with the Syracuse Daily Orange all through college. It was a big hit. Everybody loved Hector because he had a cynicism about him that college kids could relate to. Hector was cynical and negative, and college kids loved Hector. I was also cynical and negative. In 1981, I showed up at Syracuse, And I had experienced a terrible family tragedy in my freshman year at Syracuse. All right? I go into great detail about this, but I'm going to keep it really brief tonight. When I was a little kid, I would watch TV, and I would draw these animated characters from TV. Like I would draw the Flintstones. I could watch the Flintstones, I could draw them, right? When I was 3 years old, I used to watch them. And my brother could draw great. He was 5 years older than me. So he was like 8, and like he would draw the Flintstones, and it would look exactly like them, right? And I was like 3, and I would try to draw the Flintstones. The only problem is when you're 3, you can't draw. Fred came out looking like this. Like that was his head. Like his nose was like that. And one eyeball was outside of his body like this. The other eyeball was too little. It was like that. And his mouth was messed up, and his body was messed up. And his tie was messed up. And he had spots on his dress. Remember Fred Flintstone? And his legs were too long and skinny. See? And his feet were facing the wrong. One foot was going that way, and one foot was going like that. And arms, when I was 3, I thought his arms came out from his head. And he had like 19 fingers. It was terrible, right? Looked nothing like the Flintstones. But my mom would take one look at that and go nuts. She'd walk in the house and say, "Who drew that one?" I'm the youngest of 5 kids, and I'm like, I'm like, me? You mean to tell me you drew this all by yourself? I was like, yup. I drew this all by myself. She said, oh my goodness, I want to give you a star. That looks just like the ones on TV. I said, Mom, I messed up. She said, what are you talking about? I'm going to take this drawing to work and show everybody. I said, Mom, his hair is supposed to be colored in black like it is on TV. She said, okay, color his hair in black. I'm going to show my friends your drawing. Okay. When you're 3, you can't color inside the lines. You know? I was like, finished. She said, oh my goodness, 2 stars. Put your name on that. I said, why? She said, once you write your name on your artwork, it's worth a lot of money. I said, okay, wait a minute. You know how when you're real little and you just learn how to write letters, but you can't write small letters yet? I was like, R. By the second letter, I'm off the edge of the page, like O. Nowhere to go but up, B. B. Now I'm writing tinier and tinier. I-N. Rob. My name is actually Robb Armstrong, but I had to cut that short, you know. All my life, where's Batman, Robin? You know. Just cut that off, you know. She said, now that your name is on it, 3 stars. Those stars were like currency. I looked at my brother like, how many stars did you get? None? Oh well. I got 3 stars. She would take that to work. She would show people, look, my son does. He's an artist. And other people always reacted. It was amazing. Look at that thing. They were like, oh! You know? And it affected me, you guys. I began to believe I had it. And I drew Fred Flintstone every day. By the time I was about 9 years old, 10, it was ridiculous, okay? I don't have time to get into everything. Listen, Scott said keep it brief, okay? Thanks a lot, Scott. So, yeah, that's very nice. Thank you. I agree. It's fantastic. So, you know, yabba dabba do, okay? I would draw that. Let me tell you something. I've been drawing that like that since I was 9 years old. Those kids in my neighborhood freak out. I draw this, and I was always a fan. My thing was speed, you know. And the kids were just like, oh my God, you just drew this? Can I take it home? I'm like, as long as we're friends. As long as we are friends. You know, even bullies and all that. I never had to do it. Everybody's scared. Bullies beat people up now. All the kids worry about bullying. I never had to worry about bullying. You know why? Fred Flintstone. I would just draw Fred Flintstone. Their fists would go in reverse. They would go, whoa, you just drew it? I could draw on the spot as the fist was coming toward me. Wham! It was like kryptonite, you know. My mom said, son, you are a genius. I'm getting you out of public school and into private school. I never heard private and school in the same sentence before. I said, I'm going to be in a school by myself? Said, no, listen, you're going to be with other gifted kids. You have a gift from God. She said, don't worry, you'll be tested to get in, but you're a genius. Don't worry about it. You'll do great. So I tested for private schools, like Waldron, Episcopal Academy, right, Haverford. I found out something about myself. Found out I was not a genius. Not even close. But they were nice about it. Mrs. Armstrong, Robin's been tested, and he's not ready for anything. But you know, have him retested in 4 years, and we'll come. You know, my mom was like, "Don't listen." See, she's a single black mom. You know what I'm talking about. All right. No dad. Like my dad. You guys, this is grim. I'm trying to keep this upbeat and this happy. Some dads can't handle it. Not everybody wants to be a father. Okay. My dad headed for the hills. I think he saw me. I literally had spent 0 time with my father. Like, other kids had a dad, like, and I would see them briefly, and they might leave. I get it. I would see them, but at least I knew, like, there was a father somewhere. My dad was utterly AWOL. Like, none of my friends knew I even had. One of my friends said, so do you have a dad? I said, no. I got a mom, that's all I need. My mom was the bomb. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's all I needed was my mom. Wow. My 20 minutes is up. I set a timer, like, that's it, man. I gotta go. Really, I keep on? Okay, I'm wrapping up. I'm sorry. I was going to jump right off, man. I'm serious. That's why I did that.
You're good.
All right. God's a tough guy. You can't mess with him. So, she didn't want to hear about some rejection from some schools out in the main line. She said, don't worry about them. I'm going to have you retested. They're getting the whole thing wrong. And she had me retested, and I got into the Shipley School for Boys and Girls. You guys ever hear of the Shipley School? It's in Bryn Mawr. I never heard of it, but I was like, okay, I'm in. I got into the Shipley School. Listen, you guys, look. All right, let me just be honest with you. I wasn't ready for all that. I went to Shipley School. I was like, wow, this is, and they were so happy to have me, like, welcome to the Shipley family. We're so excited to have you. I said, yeah, this is great. You got everything. You got tennis courts. You got soccer. You got butterfly catcher. They said, that's called lacrosse. That's not butterfly catcher. Welcome to the Shipley family. I said, listen, that's great. Where are all of the other boys? They said, you're it. This is a girls' school. But we're co-ed now. I said, okay, great, that's good news. Where are all the other black kids? They said, you're it. We're diverse. I said, are you sure? Shipley was just white girls. No offense. Lisa, just calm down. White girls just love school, by the way. Love academics. Love having a quiz. They would stop me in the hall. Did you hear the good news? I said, what, school's closed? We're having a quiz. Pop quiz. Oh, Poppy, what are you talking about? They had to perform at a certain academic level to be happy. You know, they would just freak out. They'd come out of class crying, like, oh my God, that's what's so unfair. I was like, you're right, it was very unfair. How you think you did? I think I may have gotten a B. There goes my GPA. I was like, yours too? What's a GPA? I found out, man, because 7th grade turned out to be the worst in 2 years of my life. Listen, I graduated from that school. I buckled down, I graduated. I don't want to bore you with the whole thing. It was a nightmare. Graduating from Shipley. My family was, but here's the other thing. Here's the other reason I brought a homeless character. Like, to understand a homeless character, you have to understand suffering and loss. Right? So I started to think about suffering and loss. How can I relate so when I bring a homeless character into JumpStart, you believe it? Because if you haven't suffered anything, it will seem manufactured or pandering. So I reflected upon my own upbringing. And by the time I had gotten accepted to Shipley, my oldest brother had been killed in Philadelphia. My oldest brother, Billy, was caught between the doors of a moving subway train at 56th and Market Street and torn into 2 pieces. Oh. My mother's urgent need to get me out into the main line and all of that was partially due to Billy being killed and Mark, the other one who drew the Flintstones so well, Mark being assaulted by the Philadelphia Police Department when he was 16. He was a minor, picked up mistaken identity. It was a Rizzo administration. It was a strange time to be a young black dude, and they beat him nearly to death. My mom had to go to the police station to pick up her son and couldn't recognize him. She walked right by this kid on the bench. He said, "Mom, I'm right here." And she said, "Okay, cool." And fought City Hall all through my teenage years. For years, 9 years. And they were all acquitted. The 3 policemen who did that. So she had saved my life. She said, "I'm sending you to Shipley." I graduated Shipley at the top of near the top of the class. Because you can't beat the white girls. You can't. You can't do it. Come on. Come on, who might kick you? You know what I mean? Because they really studied, really do the off-campus research. It wasn't a fight. I was going to win. And I sat down with my mom and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm going to show you something real quick." And I pulled out my acceptance letter to Syracuse. I had applied early. I had applied early to Syracuse and gotten in as an 11th grader. So they tell you. But I was a senior, and I showed my mom my letter. I said, I've been in, you know. She won't surprise you. Show you I made it. She was like, "What? You're going to college?" I was like, "Yep, I'm going to Syracuse. I'm an orange man." They stopped calling them that. You're just an orange. Like an orange. It's weird. I'm an orange. I was an orange man in 1981. Okay. She said, "Son, no matter what happens to me, don't never quit. Don't ever give up. You're going to make it. You're going to be a cartoonist and everything." I said, "Yeah, I know. I knew when I was 10 years old, Mom. Remember when you sent my little book to the Random House?" I said, "Yeah, I remember she had sent this book. I had stapled this book. You know, you write a book, you know. It was a staple in it, it was like 4 pages. A little birdie flew in, became his little boy's friend, Timmy. No. And Birdie had a wing that was messed up. He fixed the wing, and then the bird said, "Hey, Timmy, thank you." Timmy said, "You can talk?" I said, "Sure, I can talk." So how come you didn't say anything all this time? He said, "Well, you didn't do anything until now." And they became best friends. My mom read this and said, "I'm sending this to Random House, and to Scholastic, and to Simon & Schuster. You are going to be a young author. This book is incredible." And they all got it, and they all sent it back. None of them said anything. None of them said, like, get out of here, forget it. It was nothing but the stuff back. Literally, it's like, they must know each other. It just all came back. And I was all crying and stuff. And she said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Because I wasn't good enough." She said, "You're not good, really? They're not good enough. They weren't ready for you. But you're going to be an author and a cartoonist and all that. Don't worry about them." And she was right. back in my senior year at Shipley, I sold my first pieces to the Tribune in Philadelphia. I became a published professional at 17. She saw that, and here I was telling her about Syracuse, and I got accepted and all that, and she said, son, don't quit. I'm not going to be around. I will see you off at that bus station. I'm going to make sure I go to Greyhound and put you on that bus. I'm not going to be here. You're a man now. This is all on you. I said, Mom, what are you saying this for? She said, I'm saying this because I'm dying of cancer. I've got multiple myeloma. I didn't want to say anything before, but you need to know. I won't be here. I'm not worried about you. You got a gift from God. Out of all the people in this family, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your aunts, your uncles, even me, you want to be a star. I said, Mom, you can beat cancer. You can get operated on. You all kinds. You can get the chemotherapy. Do that. She said, I'm not doing that. I've lived long enough. I said, you're 49 years old. What do you mean you lived long enough? She said, son, I've lived long enough to see my youngest go to college. That's all I asked God to let me do. But I'll be down at that bus station. She kept her word with the Greyhound sitting in Syracuse. Cancer came and snatched her life 2 months later. When I was 17, I had no parents. Scott, I can't find my man. This guy's unbelievable. Okay, I know. I got a huge watch. He's pointing at his watch. I get it. Thing went off like 10 minutes ago. Look, you guys, I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad you're all here. I'm glad I'm here. When my mom passed away, 2 white people, I never met my mom. I was at the funeral, I was crying, I was throwing a tantrum. 2 white people, I never saw them before. Excuse me, young man, pull yourself together. I said, they said, you get it, pull yourself together. Your ma was a good friend of mine, this is what the husband said, and I told her I'd keep an eye on you. I know you're at Syracuse, I get it. I need you to come down to my office. I'm at 17th and Mark. I need you to come down there on Monday. I need to talk to you. This man was Isaac Clothier, heir to the Strawbridge and Clothier family department store fortune. I said, you knew my mother? How? He said, she sat on the board of trustees at Shipley. First black trustee. I was very impressed with her. She and I became very good friends. And I was going to the hospital a number of times to visit her, and my wife and I will keep an eye on you. You guys, Barbara and Cordy Clothier made my life a living hell. These are the last people you need to keep an eye on somebody. I had to write letters, I had to be on time, you know what I'm talking about. I didn't want to do all that. I was trying to get some easy money, you know what I'm saying? I said, wait a second, Isaac Clothier, what? He said, I'm not giving you money. I was like, ugh. He said, I know people with scholarship information. I have got some friends who are quite well connected. I was like, I bet you do. I need you down here 9 o'clock next week on the dot. I came on the dot 10 o'clock.